So hi. I don't see if somebody will be coming, but okay, we can start. So hello. I have a pleasure and I'm proud to present you on the first slide something that we announced today. So as we speak, there is a big press conference in Croatia where the university where I'm part of is becoming different. We changed the identity, and there is a big headlight that I will try to use for you today, and it's called Use Your Spark, so use your emotion. I would say it's quite good in terms of the content of my presentation that the panel that were here in this room was like it was, because the people were pointing out education change, things are different. If we stop to educate ourselves, then the question is what will be. So my question to you is, do you know what is the biggest problem at the moment for data scientists? So if you come to recent research, you will see that the biggest problem is for data scientists to find its place in organization. So we are in this business for a long time, and I would say that this hype, this learning curve, this curve of adoption of technology is kind of going slowly, much slower than I was expected, and we heard before much slower than the others were expected. So if you need to find your way in organization, then it's a question, does the organization know what they need? So the second question to you, and I would like you to answer if it's possible by raising your hand, is how many of you were really in a situation to participate in a complex data science project? How many? So I see maybe 2 or 3 hands. So if there's maybe 10 more people who were participating but maybe don't want to raise their hands. So, but it's a small portion, couple of percents. So the question is, do you have what it takes? Do you really believe when you come to an organization that you have what it takes to follow the lead, to start and initiate something that nobody today or yesterday really don't know what will be in the future? So when they train you for a TEDx talk, they always say, try to use the word imagine. Why? Because it engages the people who are listening. So for a second, imagine that you will be given the opportunity to participate in a complex problem. Will you take it? So how many of you will take the opportunity? So I wouldn't say almost all of you, but much more than were engaged in the past. So today, I will point 3 things that we are doing: knowledge sharing, education, and prototyping. So today, you will, I hope, learn something about things that we are working on. I will briefly explain my team. I will invite you that I'm willing to share all my knowledge with you. I will tell you that every project that we made ends up with a prototype, and I will be giving you today access to our last prototype, the project that I will present to you. So this is maybe the problem. Why? Because the people from the industry, we heard about it before, the people from government, we heard about it before, the people from education, they are trying to find similar language. So people from industry said, okay, I have a problem because I need everything yesterday. People from the government said, okay, maybe we have money, but you know, our term is 4 years, so it's a question, will you do something so lucrative in 4 years? People from education have a problem because if they come to you with an educational case, the others tell him, okay, but this is just an educational case, you are playing around. It's really not a business. So what my team is doing, what I'm doing, I'm dealing with data science projects for many years. And I could tell you a lot about the past, like, for example, that we published more than 25 books, that we are publishing more than 4 papers per year. So far, the team published more than 150 scientific papers. But this is just the fact, because we heard before, if you are not adapting to the situation, then there's nothing in it. Because people who were, for example, dealing with analysis of photos 12 months ago, now has been disrupted with the big players coming into that market. So there is a constant change, and I would like us today to talk about change, because the world changed. So when I was introduced by one of my colleagues here, to someone who doesn't know me, he said he's one of 9. So it could be an affection or a joke, because yes, in 2002, there were approximately 9 of us in the region who were dealing with such of the project. So if someone can tell you about the change, I can tell you something, even though I'm sure there are much more smarter people than me here in the room. Today, I'm working with small startups. I'm working at the university. I will show you something about it, about our platform. But most important is what we did this year. So this is the list of selected projects that we did only this year. We are expecting to announce one more. I didn't want to put it on the list in December. But you can see, I will show you today this labor market analysis tool that has been awarded first place on EU Big Data Hackathon. But I can tell you that we had the first solution that is using cloud and advanced analytics to help water utility companies. We built the first platform to issuing diplomas based on Microsoft blockchain. So in algebra, on the university where I'm working, you can have a diploma and it has a blockchain certificate on it. We also brought, we were a part of the organizational board, we brought one of the most important guy in the United States, but in the world as well, who was 2 times advisor for Barack Obama for labor politics. He was in Croatia in August this year. In September, we started a project that I'm very proud of, but unfortunately, I cannot show you today, but we can talk about it. It's the first time that someone introduced something or a model that analyzes location data. So what we practically did, we boarded up the people from Deutsche Telekom, but also from tax office in Croatia, and we are creating a solution which can help tourism destinations to improve the service on the field, on the spot. We are also very, very active with Eurostat in dealing with this labor market tool that I will show you later, but something that was our last project is this media rating tool in partnership with AGB Nielsen that will be introduced worldwide. Why am I showing you the projects? Because we are sharing all this knowledge, of course, to a certain level, with our students, with industry, and with the government. And that's something that is, from my point of view, missing. So our platform is a company called Into Data. It's part of a big regional company called Into. And I cannot tell you much about it, few people, but you understand the tools. The educational platform is University College Algebra, where we started something we called the Big Data program, Data Science program. It's not the first one. The first one was, I think, in Novi Sad. But we started this one, and we are looking for students for a February generation. And those students will be able to play with our research lab. So we have a lab where we combine this industry, government, and the educational standards. It's built up with technology. It's built up with projects. People can come. They can take the knowledge out of the projects. They can, I don't know, they can collaborate or just watch and learn and, I don't know, exchange, do something, whatever they want with it. So the idea is to create incubator with learning by doing principle, okay? So everything we do ends with the prototype. One of the prototype I will show you today. Before I start, I would like to announce that, or inform you, that we had a few people on this project, on this idea. And this was one of our first ideas, how to interact mutually together with government, industry, and business, but also we would like to do it regionally. So unfortunately, in our company, there are only men, but I'm very proud that one of the team members were women, and she's from Serbia. She's from our team in Belgrade. So Milica, we love you, and they would like to have more women on board. Okay, so here about the project. Why it's called EU Skills and Jobs Explorer. We were talking about education. So if I ask any of you how you will describe yourself, okay, you will be telling me something about your education level. So I have PhD in graph theory. You have your current occupation. So for example, I'm a professor at the university. Okay, but okay, what then? In Croatia, we like to say that there are lots of economists that are earning big money, but also there are lots of economists they are unemployed. They are on the service and they are unemployed. So what is the difference between them? Or you can read in the papers that people from law, with education in law, they are ruling the world because Prime Minister is coming from Faculty of Law, etc., etc., etc. So can you make a difference? And if you make a difference, if you can measure a difference, then how you can use that data to help labor market policymakers, but also educational market policymakers, and what is more important, to try to benchmark the level of quality of educational labor market. And from the perspective of the people, of the someone who is looking for a job, if you have certain skills and someone is telling you, I don't know, in Croatia or in Serbia, you will never be data scientist, okay? But for example, in Finland, you can. What are your possibilities at the moment for, to access to the information that in Finland there will be a certain salary for you, and that your skills are attractive, and more important, which skills you should acquire to be more competitive on the market because you are not there on a daily basis? That's basically the question. So this was kind of a milestone of the project. The important thing is that 3 days before the contest, we received about 2 terabytes of data, about 45 million documents, mostly CVs of people published at EURES. It is an international database for where people are looking for jobs, but also job ads. So when the company is trying to hire someone, the company is creating it creates an ad, and it puts some skills and position, qualification, location, and everything inside of it. From the other side, the people who are looking for a job, they are uploading their CVs, and they say, okay, we are coming from Serbia, we would like to work here, 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 and we have those skills. Okay? So what we basically did, I will go around it. We take out from the unstructured data skills, occupations, everything that we could. And then there is something called ESCO classification. It's a European classification of skills and jobs. The last version were introduced 1 month ago. It's a place, it's kind of an RDF format. It's a map of links between occupation, skills, and the level of education. So after we do that, we put everything inside of a big data bucket, put it in cloud, and during the contest, we had only 3 days for this. So 3 days before of the hackathon, we received all the data. It took me 24 hours to load it on the big data bucket only. And then we had only 3 days to create a prototype. So we created a prototype, but not only create a prototype, we build a application which you can access through the web. And it was quite impressive for the jury. For us, it was something that, you know, at the moment we were able to do, so we take our shots. So when we come to the hackathon, the question, what we need to do, we don't know that before. So they send us 3 days before the hackathon the data, and they said, okay, it will be something about the labor market. When we come there, this is the task list that they put to us. So every red word is really a task. There is about 18 tasks that they introduced to us. And they said, okay, we don't expect you to solve everything. We expect you, to go as wider as you can. But you can get the idea. So please, give us a tool that will help policymakers, someone who is dealing with politics, okay, how to measure supply on the skill market, not on your educational market, not on qualification market, on the skill market. So, for example, I could tell you, I will show you later, that moderate complex occupations are made of around 350 skills. But this is not the complex thing. Complex thing is that if you look 5 years in the past, you will see different skills attractive for a certain education. And over time, it's changing. How to be aware of that change. And how to estimate what will be the most attractive skill in the future. Or how to come to the 5-year-old child or 10-year-old child and said, okay, please learn another language that my father told me. Or, I don't know, learn how to deal with R, because in next 10 years, this will be something. That's basically the idea. So you see how wide the problem is. So what we use besides those CVs, we use some open data. We take out those information, and we create a prototype that consists of 4 groups of visualizations. First, skill supply. Supply. If you are supplying a CV, then your node, yourself, you are supplying the labor market. Okay. We can also analyze the clusters. Why? Because if you put some skills on your CV, then you believe that for your occupation, for something that is inside you, your personal opinion, this is important. Okay. From the company side, if they say, okay, we need someone for I don't know, director of finance, they will put some skills that they believe are important. So we take out the skills and say, okay, if we put that skill on the time map, we will see which ones are obsolete, going down, okay, which ones are more attractive, and put that on a card of Europe. But also, I can do something else. I can calculate how long it takes for someone with a certain skills to be employed. And then I can come to the school and say, okay, if you have this combination, it's easily that you will be hired. Okay? Of course, you will see afterwards when I will show you the demo, the most important skills for Europe for next year are statistics, mathematics, and physics. Okay? The second level is something about engineering, depends on the skill. And for example, manufacturing skills are really going down. Okay, this is a biased data set, but generally this is it. Skill demand, if the companies, they're needing something, so they deploy job ads, okay? We can predict, based on linear prediction, nothing complex, we can predict, okay, which kind of skills are increasing in demand, and we can create this occupation complexity map where we see, okay, from the perspective of the employer, what group of skills you should really acquire to be more suitable for the job. If you have supply and demand, you can measure a skill gap, because you just cross it, okay? And then you can find something about the migration. So if somewhere are lots of economists and some other country needs those people, then you can calculate from the labor market where they are going, why they are going. For example, in Croatia, I don't know for Serbia, but in Croatia we have lots of people from the, like doctors from medicine, or like IT people that are going abroad. I will show you something about it later. One thing is also important. In IT industry, there is a huge, strong trend of people who don't try to be employed in full time. When I mean strong, I don't mean like this, I mean like this. So people are now able to work, to earn, without having a formal full-day job. And this is something that was totally impossible, for example, I would say for my generation 15 years ago. So we have to be aware of this. So policymakers, the governments, they need to be in front of the situation, not looking at something that is happening afterwards. So if we are able to analyze this, then we can help them, for example, to see on the map where are the gaps, what qualifications are the most important, how to help educational market, faculties, schools, etc. But also, where are people going? And there is a question, so they ask me, okay, so if you create a tool that will show people where to go to earn money, people will go abroad. So you are doing something that is not so good for the country. But I said, look, but if the country is not aware of the reasons why people are going abroad, okay, then there is a problem because the people will left anyway. It's just a matter of their idea and possibility to go. So, about the tech stack, we can talk about it later. So, we use Google BigQuery and we use Tableau Cloud. So, we build several tables. I will show you how it works live to see how fast it is. Besides the prototype, there are approximately 20 table sets at approximate size of 120 million records. The biggest table, demand, it's approximately 250 gigabytes. It's 1 billion records. And I will push that table for you in live to see how fast it is. But there is some talk, we should talk about how we choose the platform and everything. But the idea is to select a platform, to choose it, to load the data, to do something with graphs and everything, to do NLP, to calculate, to measure the skills, to match the skills with ESCO, to do the visualization on the map and put it in the cloud. That was basically the idea. So, this is the stack. It's clean. We like to do things clean, okay? I don't want to waste any time on this. We can always talk about it later. And this is something that I'm very proud of. So, we never knew what kind of jury will evaluate our solution. So, we used, as you see, Google and Tableau. So when we come to the contest, they said, okay, there will be 2 juries, 10 people from Eurostat and similar institutions because they were financing the Datathon or Hackathon, how do you want to call it. But also, there will be people from the industry. So I'm pointing 2 facts. We were the first. You don't see Table and Google here. So when we see this, we believe that we will be the last one because who will vote for us, But they vote for us, so there is a reason, there is a difference. This is what we did. This is a prototype. I will just show you in briefly and then show you live. So these are the maps of Europe, and this is the 4 groups of reports. So skill supply, skill demand, skill gap, and occupations. This here shows skill supply. The darker areas, we used national classification for Europe. It's called NUTS. So you can dig down any region, any occupation, okay, any skill or group of skills, and then you can see which region is deploying a certain skills. Because, for example, we know for Germany that, I don't know, there is an area where the engineering is very hot. For example, for Serbia and Croatia, there is technology, etc. Okay? We also create the clusters of skills. Why doing that? Because sometimes most of us are not from the same occupation. So I have degree in economy, business statistics, and graph theory. But maybe my skills are comparable to some of yours, even you are architect or someone else. So we are trying to look at most common group of skills. Why? After I will show you to help the educational market as well to understand how the people are grouping skills. One very, very nice thing is to create a time matrix, because you can see how people are changing their roles. So in Croatia, we call this prekvalifikacija. It's when you have people who are educated in certain area, and you understand that your labor market don't need them. So you invoke a national program that will change the occupation from someone who is, I don't know, economist to someone who is in law, expert in law. So if you put it in time metrics, we had 2 years here, you can see how things changed. And you can see which areas of labor market is changing more rapidly. So this is in big. I will show you that in person. I put this in a presentation because I'm sure that you will be receiving the presentation, so you will be able to see the picture. So skill supply, skill clustering, occupation migration. These classes here, they are taken from the European classification. But you can choose any country, any region, any occupation, and you can select any period in time. And you can see it like this. Also, important thing, if you have a skill gap, okay, mismatch, then you can cross it with some public statistics. For example, if we know how much a certain country is investing in the labor market or educational market, does that correlate in any way with gap? So if you are constantly, I don't know, pushing money in a certain industry, is that the best or most efficient way where to spend the money? This is the occupation complexity. So as you see, this is the number of skills for a certain occupation. So when you move out outliers, it's around 300 to 400. Because back in past, Europe has an idea for people to select, to click from the skill set their skills. But it's impossible for you to click 300 skills. You need to use some machine learning for it. And workforce migration, unfortunately, I don't have data for Serbia because that data set was not, it was just in EU data set, okay? But I can show you Croatia. So we take Croatia. When you click on Croatia, you see the countries where Croatians who are looking for jobs said, okay, I would like to work there. So you see Germany, Ireland, you see something that maybe it's a pattern that, you know, we could expect. So I'm giving you the access to the prototype. So this is the URL. This is the username and password, and you can access it like I will be doing now. So you will receive the presentation or take a picture now. If you need, just give me an email, so I will give it to you. If you want to look at it, you know, like deep dive, just call me, and we can meet always in our research lab, and I will show you how we did it. But the more important thing is what we're going to do next, you know, because we heard before, we cannot afford to stop. So what I can do, I can create a skill transition matrix to show how things changed over time, like I mentioned. But also, I can match someone. You can really use a tool to measure yourself how competitive you are in the market, how fast you can expect your employability. Because today, I'm not sure how it's in Serbia, but when you come to someone who is advising about your career, then you know sometimes it's not easy to advise you. But what we can do, I will show you one of the projects that we start as a spin-off of this. We can create a career path navigator. So we can help you to understand how far in your career you can do. Now, of course, based on data. So it's always a question because something is related to your individuality. You cannot do anything by data. But generally, what we can do for educational market, we can just select the next most valuable skill. So what to do with it. So a spin-off, we started 3 projects. For one big company, we started a chatbot which helps you to understand what is estimated part of your career when you're bored. So for example, someone who just who is looking for a job said, okay, I'm Leo. I speak 2 languages. I'm living in Croatia. I would like to go to United States. I would like to work in hospitality industry. I like hotels. Okay. So if I apply to the hotel hospitality company, company said, okay, it depends on your age, education, and this. You should acquire 2 more languages in the next 6 months. Okay. And then you should move, if you like people, for example, to Florida because it's easier for you to move. And then from Florida you have broader picture and then move on. Or stay in Croatia and do what you do because it's good for you. The other thing, there are many million, I think at the moment, they are talking about 9 million, but I cannot confirm that information, of people or students who are looking for the education. There is a big market of people who have time, are young, and they're looking for good universities. There are just few platforms, they are called matchmaking, but they're not doing matchmakings, you know. It's just a portal, so you as a university can put your data, and if you're looking for something, you can put few ideas that you have as a student, and then you are trying to do the match. We are trying to use this, what I showed you, to do the match, okay? And unfortunately, we are small, so I decided to go in a collaboration with the Italian statistics department to create a bigger team, and there I need more people, so if anyone has, I would say, drive for this, if I see the spark, then you are ready, or I'm ready to discuss with you to join us. But the most important project that we start as a spin-off is a project with Ministry of Labor in Croatia, where we would like to connect everything from preschool to graduate schools. Then someone is employed, okay, and then you lost a job or you said, I don't want to work anymore, but then you come back and then you are moving somewhere around here. At the end, you receive some money for it. So I can come here in elementary school, and someone who is good in art, I can help navigate through the career to maximize the salary in the future. Of course, using percentages and numbers, but it's quite a huge issue. Of course, I need to have population data for benchmark. It's always important. So it's always important to have something to help me to show you that I'm not mad, that I'm just someone with energy and try to change something. So this is it. I will show you. Can we just switch? Okay. So this is it. So now it's pinging through wireless, depends on the speed of the wireless. It's pinging cloud, and cloud is pinging Google BigQuery. So it's around 20 seconds with a regular wireless for data to be shown. Here there is a menu, if you will be exited. So you see, around 20 seconds. You can choose whatever you like here. So what we can do, this is quite a complex one, we can push for clustering. Of course, the clusters are calculated upfront. So there is an engine which is not doing real time. So we need to use NLP and everything just to understand from the unstructured data the combination of skills. But you see, this was 15 seconds. Now this is something that we create for educational purposes, so maybe someone else is looking at the data at the same time, and then the speed is different. So from the March this year, we had 750 views of or logins in these solutions, and we strongly believe that what I said when I start, education, knowledge sharing, okay, and prototyping is very, very, very important. I'm not sure that does any of you been last year in March we had a big conference also in Croatia only about the projects that that are dealing with monetization that ends up with some kind of invoicing. But when I see the energy of people here, I decided to put all of my effort to support this conference. So from me as the last keynote, I would like to congratulate to people who organized the conference because I like being here. So I hope that you enjoy this. I hope that we can answer some questions, but I'm available to you at any time for anything that you may ask in the future. Thank you.
And thank you as well. Before the questions, I would just like to remind you again to ask all your questions via the Slido link, which you have there. It's sli.do/DSC3. And whilst you are asking your questions, I would also like to thank Leo for all his contribution to the conference. And on behalf of the conference, I would like to give you this certificate as a sign of thanks. One more round of applause, please. Thank you. OK. At this moment, I don't have any questions on the list, so I will give you a couple more seconds just to get your thoughts, write some questions. And don't forget, you can always talk during the breaks.
So either I said everything or you are too tired. OK.
OK. Perhaps they will want a more personal approach, apparently.
OK.
OK, thank you for the talk.